From Party Foul in Murfreesboro, here's Blue Raider Extra Point.
Welcome to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin here, as always, with Will Stevenson and with Chase Owens. We're here back at Party Foul in Murfreesboro on another college game day morning, ready to give you all the Conference USA and MTSU Blue Raider info for this upcoming week, as well as keep you up to date on some other sports going on. Well, let's go ahead and get it started. First up, we have Nathan Vaughn with the starting lineup.
The starting lineup.
After a quiet week one of college football, big names like Notre Dame, Clemson, and more will hit the field for the first time in 2020. UAB heads to Miami after a shootout win over Central Arkansas last week. The preseason Conference USA favorites will have its hands full against the new-look Miami offense piloted by Houston transfer quarterback De'Aaron King. North Carolina will host Syracuse as the Tar Heels brace for sweet release after its campus has endured a brutal wave of COVID spread over the last few weeks. Mack Brown's team will be hoping for another great season behind sophomore star Sam Howell, who tossed 38 TDs in 2019 as a freshman. Syracuse likewise will pin its hopes on junior quarterback Tommy DeVito, who led the way to a win over UNC in 2018. Duke will look for revenge in its season opener at Notre Dame in an ACC conference matchup. Irish quarterback Ian Book is back after tossing 34 touchdowns in 2019. Meanwhile, for the Blue Devils, Clemson transfer Chase Bryce will get the nod for the QB position. Mike Norvell will also coach his first game for Florida State when the Seminoles face Georgia Tech at Doak Campbell Stadium Saturday. Marvin Wilson is the star for the Noles defense, while experienced quarterback James Blackman will once again be QB1. Georgia Tech are still rebuilding in the post-Paul Johnson era, but Yellow Jackets fans are excited for the potential of freshman quarterback Jeff Sims. Clemson returns after a disappointing end to its 2019 season after losing to LSU in the national championship game. Coming back are future first-round picks Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, who lead a roster packed to the brim with NFL talent. On the other end, Wake Forest lost stud quarterback Jamie Newman to transfer and will be heavy underdogs once again in this matchup. This has been the starting lineup.
So it looks like we're going to have a good weekend of college football in week 2. Try to tune into as many games as you can.
Absolutely. Chase, what are your can't-miss games for this week?
This week I've got my eyes on 2 of them. I like Syracuse at North Carolina. I think Tommy DeVito is going to have an exceptional year, and I think if the Orangemen want to be successful, he's got to stay healthy. And then I like Wake Forest at Clemson. I think Clemson beating Wake Forest last year 52-3 is going to leave the Demon Deacons wanting some revenge.
Thanks, Chase. Coming up next, we'll have the Big Blue Review.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin here with Will Stevenson and with Chase Owens. College football is back and we've got you covered. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with Noah Boffman and Noah Maddox as they have the Big Blue Review.
The Big Blue Review.
First, let's review last week's game against Army.
Absolutely. It was a tough 42-0 loss to open the season.
Yeah, no, definitely not what we wanted to see on our opening week, especially since this was the first time we have lost in a season opener shutout since 1996.
And our first shutout loss since 2012.
But after the long flight home, I was able to catch up with redshirt freshman J.R. Bivens, the defensive end that had 1.5 tackles against the Black Knights.
What did he have to say?
By next week, we'll be back to playing normally, going vertical, having a four-man front, doing all the things that we like to do. We love blitzing, we love going upfield, we love getting sacks, we love doing all that type of stuff.
Well, let's hope we have a better view when Troy rolls around next week.
Oh, absolutely. Now, back to where we left off last week. What did the volleyball team have to say, Noah?
Well, when I talked to Emma Griever and Allie Hall, they both talked about how the team has adapted to the changes this fall semester due to COVID. The official practice time has been dropped from 20 hours a week to 8, so the players have made it a point to get as many extra touches in as they can before and after practice. Even though their season has been postponed all the way to the spring, the team still comes focused and prepared to get better at practice every single day.
Exactly. And a Big Blue Review thank you to Emma and Allie. That's it for now. Back to y'all from the Noahs.
Thanks to the Noahs. We have much more to come on Blue Raider Extra Point. And next up, we're going to go around this USA.
And Houston Chapman will have our Blue Raider Spotlight.
And my favorite portion of the show, the picks. Stick around for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
You're watching Blue Raider Extra Point.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. We're here at Party Foul in Murfreesboro, and we just wanted to thank them for being such a great host. But Chase has been ready to take us around this USA all week and working real hard, so let's go ahead and get started.
Just like last week, I've only got 2 games for you guys. Let's get right into it.
Around the CUSA.
This week in Around the CUSA, the conference is playing some really big games in college football. We're going to look at Western Kentucky versus Louisville and UTEP versus Texas. Western Kentucky returns a talented roster as they had 3 players named to the preseason all-conference team. The biggest name there is defensive end D'Angelo Malone, who was the reigning defensive player of the year, and he was picked to repeat that achievement again this season. A huge change for Western, though, is that someone else will be under center for them. Tyrell Pogrom, after spending 4 years at Maryland, graduated and transferred to Western, and he will start for them on Saturday. Look for these players to have a huge impact in the game. On the other side, Louisville, coming off of an 8-5 record, is also talented and deep in some areas. Junior wide receiver Tutu Atwell is coming off of a season in which he led the ACC in receiving yards and touchdowns, and he also led the nation in plays of 70 or more yards. They are also deep at outside linebacker, which is really a good thing because last season the Cardinals were dead last in sacks in the ACC. They hope rotating guys like Yasir Abdullah and Tiberius Peterson with guys like Nick Okeke and Thurman Gathers will help slow down that fast-paced air attack from Western. This is going to be an exciting one in Louisville. The other games we are paying attention to is UTEP versus Texas. UTEP is coming off of a season in which it went 1-11, losing their last 11. Things are looking like they're off the right direction though, as they won Week 1 against Stephen F. Austin 24-14. Deion Hankins was the key contributor as he rushed for 113 yards on 17 carries and found the end zone twice. Against a team like Texas, who gave up 138 yards per game last year, look for Hankins to have a strong game if the Miners want to stay in this one. For one of the most programmed teams in college football history, Texas feels like they have the pieces to get back to the national level, including returning Heisman hopeful Sam Ehlinger. Along with Ehlinger, Texas returns talents within the likes of Joseph Asai and Caden Stearns. This will hopefully help a defense that gave up 28 points per game last season. After last season, Texas hopes to start out their season the correct way by handling a team they should definitely beat.
Thanks, Chase. Now here's the full lineup of Conference USA games for this weekend. Now let's hear it from Houston Chapman with our Blue Raider Spotlight.
What's up, Blue Raiders? I'm Houston Chapman here with the Blue Raider Spotlight, and I'm here with Tom Moonen. Tom, tell me a little about yourself.
Well, hey, Blue Raiders. My name is Tom Moonen. I'm a 5th-year senior from the Netherlands. I'm here on the MTSU tennis team. I finished my undergrad in accounting last year, and now I'm doing a master's in finance.
So, Tom, tell me how you've been preparing for the season.
Obviously it was a little bit of a tough situation because of COVID. The tennis courts were closed, gyms were closed, so I couldn't really do the usual stuff. But me and a couple teammates, we tried to be creative, so did a lot of bodyweight stuff. Started off when I got home with a 30-day challenge where we did 1,000 reps a day. We did 10 different exercises for 100 reps each, and then obviously I got back into playing again.
So how much endurance training do you guys do?
Well, fitness in tennis is like a really big aspect of this. The tennis court might seem small, but I think in the long matches we run over 2 miles.
So how fast is your first serve?
Well, when I really go after it, I think I can get it up to 125, which is probably not even the fastest on the team. We have a couple guys who can serve even faster, but yeah, I think I can get it up there.
So 125. I don't think that's that hard to hit. I'm a pretty good athlete. I feel I can hit it. What do you think?
Well, I think we should find out.
All right, well, let's find out.
So after this hit, I felt pretty good. But then this happened. Then he hit it even harder. Then this happened. couldn't believe my racket was letting me down. But then, right here, he was showing off with the kick serve that went in between my racket and my shoulder. And that's impressive, because I'm 6'5" and it's hard to get anything over my head.
So as you can see, I had no chance of returning a serve from Tom Moon. When I saw that ball come at me 120 miles an hour, I knew I had no chance. So if you want to check out Tom and the Blue Raider tennis team, check him out on social media. And tune in next week for the next Blue Raider Spotlight.
Thanks, Houston. You know, last year I was able to interview Tom a couple weeks after the season was canceled, and he told me that in his 5th year, he would be pursuing a master's degree in finance.
Tom will also be joining us in just a few minutes to give us his picks. But for right now, we're going to take a TV timeout. Coming up next, we'll have Zachary Loan with the scouting report.
Catch Blue Raider Extra Point right here Saturday mornings at 10:30 from Party Foul in Murfreesboro.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Time for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
Welcome back. MTSU is set to face Troy next Saturday. But right now, let's kick it over to Zachary Loan with the scouting report.
This week, we'll be looking at how MTSU's offense stacks up. MTSU will be looking to bounce back against Troy next Saturday to gain early season momentum. The Blue Raiders will need to keep an eye on number 2 Colton Marshall on the Trojans defense, as Marshall led the team with 70 solo tackles, 127 total tackles, and scored a touchdown last year. Marshall also was second on the team in interceptions with 3. As a team, Troy ranked 126th in the country, giving up a little over 22 points per game in first halves last year. Against Army, the Blue Raiders were not able to get going early, but last year they did average a little under 13 points per game in first halves. So, look for MTSU to try and seize early momentum. Troy also ranked 110 in yards given up per game with 461. Middle Tennessee averaged 391 yards total per game. With MTSU trying to convert to the Ravens' offensive scheme, the main focus will be on the rushing numbers. Troy was average in the FBS last year, giving up 168 yards per game on the ground. MTSU averaged 167 rushing yards per game last season, with the majority of the yards coming from quarterback Asher O'Hara. Also last year, Troy was in the lower half of the FBS in rushing yards per attempt given up with 4.5, and MTSU was number 26 in the country with 5 rushing yards per attempt. Troy was in the bottom 5 teams in FBS, giving up 293 passing yards per game last year. The passing attack for MTSU was a weakness against Army, as Cunningham and O'Hara combined to throw for 109 total yards, and the average pass only went for 4.5 yards. Last year, MTSU did average 226 yards per game through the air, so this could be an area where MTSU could take advantage. The main key for this game will be whoever can take care of the ball. Last year, Troy had a negative 0.1 turnover margin per game, but MTSU had a positive 0.3, so taking care of the ball will be crucial. Come back next week as I break down MTSU's defense. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Zachary. And now with his scouting report in mind, what are some keys to succeed for this week for MTSU?
For me, the 3 keys to success for MTSU will be 1, to establish the ground game. Troy gave up 157 yards on the ground last season, and MTSU has got to be able to take advantage of that. 2, we've got to fit our blocks. Linebackers like Colton Marshall will wreak havoc all day, as last season he was the first player in 20 years to have over 100 tackles, 15 for a loss, and 3 interceptions. And then 3, we've got to slow Troy's offense down. Last season they averaged 35 points per game, which ranked them 25th out of the FBS.
Exactly, and my 3 keys start off with 1, forget about week 1. Don't let struggles from the Army game make you feel like this team isn't full of talent. Regain your trust in the offense and move the ball and play your own game. My second key is to force the run. Troy has several quarterbacks that are battling for a start, so whoever's under center will be playing as hard as they can. Force incompletions and make them go to the ground. And my third key, when you do make them go to the ground, fill the gaps. Troy's O-line is full of size, so when you force the run, make sure they don't make you pay for it by finding easy lanes.
Well, great minds think alike, because I have that same exact first key. First key, forget about game 1. I don't know what was going on, but we're going to have a forced offense, 9 of 14 for 46 yards and 2 picks and only 18 yards on the ground. I don't have an explanation for what was going on. But for number 2, clock management. That's one thing that we're not going to forget about, because it was obviously forgotten about in game 1. Going into halftime, 2 yards away, absolutely scoreless, 2 timeouts as well. I don't know what happened there. But 3, don't force your offense. Like I said, Asher O'Hara, I don't know what was going on, wasn't rushing as well, only had 18 yards on the ground as well as throwing. But hopefully that'll be something that they can fix and not forcing the offense, and we'll actually get something to go out of that and not be, shut out.
Great points, guys. If MTSU can follow that, they'll be successful. We've got more coming for you on Blue Raider Extra Point.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. We're joined with our special guest, Tom Noonan of men's tennis. Tom, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to go ahead and get it started with our picks for this week. First up, we have Syracuse and North Carolina. Tom, what
I'm
you got?
going with Syracuse.
I've got North Carolina. The Tar Heels have a strong team. They're going to prove it this weekend.
I love Tommy DeVito, and I think he's going to get the Orangemen on track with the win this week.
I've got North Carolina as well. Charlotte and App State.
I'm going against USA and App State.
I've got App State.
3 for 3.
Me as well, App State. UTSA and Texas State.
Texas State for me.
I've got Texas State taking home this win in the rivalry.
I did give Will a lot of crap last week for choosing them, but I also like Texas State this week.
I guess I'm going to be the only one being my own person. I have UTSA. Up next, we have Duke and Notre Dame.
Notre Dame on that one.
Notre Dame 100%.
Ian Book is looking for a Heisman, and he's got to do that with a win. A Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame. Georgia Tech and Florida State.
Got to pick Florida State just because of the weather.
I've got Florida State. They normally take home the win over Georgia Tech.
And as much as it hurts my Gator heart, I do have to ride the Florida State Seminoles.
I have Florida State as well. Last up, we have Clemson and Wake Forest.
Cannot go against Clemson.
Clemson for sure.
Trevor Lawrence has only lost one game in his college football career, and it's not going to be 2 after Saturday. Clemson.
Clemson.
Check out Blue Raider Extra Point on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, Tom, and before we let you go, I have to ask, what is your expectation for the tennis season this year?
Well, first of all, I want to thank MTSU for allowing us to have a season and giving us a chance to compete, because we really appreciate that as a team. And then as far as results go, we were working on a really good season last year where we broke into the top 30. And the year before, we won the Conference USA title, but we didn't get a chance to defend it, and we really want another ring.
How does that ring feel from that 2019 championship?
It's a little bit heavy, but I think I can carry another one.
And that's all the time that we have here today on Blue Raider Extra Point. Don't forget to tune in next week at 10:30 on Saturday, and be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And if you missed any of this episode or any of our past episodes, you can catch them on our website at middletennesseenews.net. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
I will say I'm actually I'm proud of your guys' picks this week, especially you. I mean, whatever you did last week, I don't know what that was.
Hey, I'm not taking another punishment, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Abigail this week.
undefeated.
She chose
Oh.
UTSA. I don't know what the heck that was about.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to compliment you. You want to come back to me?
Oh, you want to go right now?
Great,
You want to go
bye.
right
Thank you,
now?
I
But I don't want to
appreciate
wish you
it.
best of luck, 'cause I'm tired of Chase
Right,
winning
just a
already.
little bit of
Yeah.
luck in there.
You got
This
me.
guy
You
had a
got
good
me.
record of winning, though. He knew what he was doing when he
Yeah,
came in.
you definitely don't.
Dude, that ring
I'll-
line, though, he
definitely
said
did
it's a
some
little heavy,
research.
but I got another one. I said, okay.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.